Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's Wednesday, and we have another Pocket Change market report for you guys to take a look at today. In this video, we're going to look at some amazing change finds that only you guys have found and have sold on eBay and have made some pretty gosh darn good money as a result. Yeah, that's right. That's this report where we talk about errors and varieties. Traditionally, these are found out in the wild, whether that's going through large amounts of change, going through that piggy bank, or maybe buying coin rolls from the bank, or the third X factor that most people don't really think about is simply cherry picking a local coin shop or a coin show. I know there's a number of you that like doing that, and as a result, you guys have been making some pretty good money just flipping these coins on the secondary market with the full attribution and all that great stuff. So, those are the best ways to find some of these coins, ladies and gentlemen. The market is hot all the way to the last minute. Now, is it really a last minute, or is this trend going to continue through the summertime? That's the real question. We're going to find out here in about 3 to 4 weeks when we are beyond Memorial Day. And I don't know. It's just everything is a blank right now. Everybody's kind of in the dark, I like to think that we're beyond the pandemic period that we've been living through for the last 3 years, and that things are going to be back to some sort of normalcy, the coin market included in all this. So it's going to be interesting, but I will keep you guys updated on what's going to happen. It should be interesting. But a few other things to kind of get out of the way before we jump into the list is that we don't talk about graded coins whatsoever. Grading your coins means you're actually spending money to get them into some sort of plastic holder with a grade and attributed with the error or variety. There's a lot of coins, ladies and gentlemen, that just don't need that grading. It's expensive, and if you're looking to turn this into a business when you're making money on eBay or some other platform, you could probably do away with the grading part of it and just save yourself some money or make yourself more money, because a lot of these coins, guys, will certainly sell for themselves. And one more thing, you're going to see just original photographs from the respective sellers' listings. We didn't juice or doctor any of these, except maybe to crop them so that way they fit on the sheet here. But you're going to get the best and the worst. I'd like to say that the photos today are actually pretty decent. So, kudos to a lot of people that are actually listening to me, because photos really do play a huge role in the overall quality of the money that you get back. So, yeah, pretty cool. And then, of course, one more thing that we're going to talk about. I have a Friday night coin auction. I was off for 2 weeks. So we're going to be back here this Friday. This is the huge 3-month giveaway stream on May 26th. I'm going to do an official preview video sometime tomorrow, which is Thursday, of the coins I'll have in the auction. It's going to be a big show. I'm even going to have my first piece of gold that I'm going to be selling on the stream. But giveaway-wise, woo, baby, we have some pretty amazing stuff to give away. I have a few of these brand new 2023 Austria Philharmonic 1-ounce silver rounds we're going to be giving away. Got a few of those, in addition to the great big 5-ounce America the Beautiful Bombay Hook Delaware ATB hockey puck, I guess is what they call it. But it's massive. It's got a value of about $240, and one lucky winner is going to come away with that. So if you guys are interested, go ahead and check out the stream below in the description box. It's not live yet, but at the very least, you could bookmark it for this Friday. And if you haven't signed up, I also have my referral link down below in the description box and pinned in the comments section. That way you could sign up on the platform, and I'm telling you guys, it's as good as eBay, if not better. And you'll earn yourself $15 in usable credit right away. So go ahead and sign up, check things out, whether through me or one of the other streamers. And it should be a good time. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into these coins. I actually have one of the bigger PCMRs that I've had in quite some time here. We actually have 33. I haven't had 30 PCMR listings in probably 3 months. So yeah, we're back over 30 here just because of pure straight up demand. A lot of sales data chock full into a 24-hour period. It's really nutty. So yeah, the market's really healthy. Starting out with this 1988p Roosevelt Dime. This is, you can make the argument that this is either off center, which I think it is. It looks more off center than it does broad struck. But if it is off center, it's about 10% off center. Truly great looking coin here. Problem free, I would say mid state. This one ended up selling for $19.75 with 6 bids. Oftentimes you'll come across these not only in rolls, I've found a few in my lifetime, but also cherry picking them at coin shops. Coin shops don't traditionally like selling these things. It's not a core part of their business, so sometimes they'll make a good deal with you to just to offload these, or they'll just naturally have them for a cheap price. But recognize that these have a tremendous secondary market here on eBay, and that's kind of where it should stay, for maximum profit potential. The next one that we have here is one of the brand new 2023 Edith Kanaka-Ole American Women Quarters. This is the Philadelphia minted coin, and this one you'll notice has a pretty nice sized die chip right on the tip of Washington's nose. Now, we've seen an example of this coin with a much larger die chip that unfortunately only sold for $8, which I don't think is the true realized price for something like that. However, that was the first example to show up in a public auction setting like eBay. So we have this one here, which is quite a bit smaller than that other one that we did look at over the weekend. And this one ended up selling for $30.25. So that's the kind of money I would expect for that larger die chip that we saw. In that case, it's probably more of a die break because it's that much larger. The seller also did mention that there's die clashes on this one, although I don't really see it all too well. And the seller didn't provide any good close-ups to indicate that. But there is a clash on this particular quarter, and enjoy it while you can. Keep looking for these because the brand new next coin is going to be coming out here in a few weeks. So we're going to start to see those flooding circulation or banks nearest you. So yeah, again, another mainstay in modern coin hunting. We have the 2022 P Wilma Mankiller American Women Quarter. Sorry, jeez. Yeah, that's when you know the U.S. Mint cranks out way too many programs as you begin to kind of, I don't know, make mistakes when you're talking about the coins. But yeah, this one has the aforementioned retained cut die break just on the obverse, however, but on the reverse you have a pretty substantial amount of strike through. So there was a lot of grease on both sets of dies prior to the strike, but you could see that retained cut right above Washington's head where the die had actually fractured, but not completely falling out. And it's a retained cut because you could still see some of the important devices from the word Liberty on there. So this coin right here was kind of a bargain, although the coin looks like it's circulated a little bit. This one sold for $140.27 with 8 bids. So again, still a respectable amount of cash. If you find one of these, keep in mind the money is fantastic, and it could fill up a gas tank or two. It could get you groceries in the fridge. I mean, there's a lot of potential here with these coins, even a year later. Okay, so this is probably one of the coolest coins I've seen in quite some time. It's actually been quite a while since I've seen this specific coin show up on auction. And it's a 1983 P Jefferson Nickel that has 2 different cuts. So it's got 2 different cut die breaks on the coin, one right on top of Jefferson's head, and the other one at the base of his bust. But overall, this is a great looking coin, by the way. The seller did a good job with these superimposed images that he or she had put into the listing. You can see that these things are not small either. They're pretty sizable. This one is attributed on the Cuds on Coins website as being CU5C Dash 1983 P Dash 12 and 13. So this is actually 2 listings in Cuds on Coins. And this might actually be one of only a handful of examples that as of today are known to exist, which is quite remarkable considering how many of these were minted back in 1983. So this coin right here, someone I think probably stole this one for $55.90. Although, you know, for a single Cud, that's actually a really good amount of money. So I would say that whoever got this will end up enjoying the coin, and just recognize that there are examples of these Cuds where they're in 2 different places on the same coin. And by the way, 3 bids accumulated to that $55.90. Here's just a really nice peachy looking 1912 Barber $half. Very nice condition too. I'd probably say it's more like a fine 15. You have most of the letters and Liberty noticeable right on the crown there. But the seller had mentioned that there was a lamination on the obverse. You could see it running through the fields and just under Lady Liberty's mouth and into the jawline there. It's very subtle. It looks more like a stain than anything else, but, you know, the seller does have the coin in hand, and, you know, these pictures are actually quite nice. This is probably one of the better photos for this week. So this particular coin here ended up selling for $40.99, and that's with a buy it now shot. Check your silver. You might find something like this that looks quite innocent, and yeah, I mean, you know, it's going to make a little bit of a difference here. So the going rate for a peace dollar, if you're just going to find just a generic, common dated, you know, maybe not even cull, but more of a coin that probably grades out XF or AU, nothing too crazy. These are available currently in the marketplace for about $28. Okay, and that's even with the price of silver dropping a few hairs. But this particular example here has a really nice strike through event right on Liberty's nose right here and going into the cheek. That is not a hit. That is indeed a strike through. Some would even call it a planchet flaw as a more generic terminology for it. But this particular coin right here, ladies and gentlemen, sold for $52. So if you found this for right around $28-30 and you turn around and sell it, you know, you probably end up making about $18 to $20 after fees and shipping. So well done, very nice sale. Be on the lookout for these on all silver coins. Here's just a really nice, pleasing 1998 Lincoln Memorial cent with the wide AM reverse. No close-ups here, but you can see that pretty nice gap between the A&M and America. So these sets of dies were accidentally used on business strike coins when they were reserved for proof coins. So there you go. This is actually a very nice example of this variety, and this one sold for $15.90. Again, these things aren't wildly expensive unless you're finding like a 1999. That's the rarest of the 3 dates for wide AMs, and that coin in this condition will probably be $100 to $200, and that's the big difference there. Our first piece of currency is a silver certificate, 1935E this time around. Front of the note looks regular, you know, nothing too crazy that attracts your eye, but when you flip that note over, whoo, nice little misaligned back print on there, so the sheet had shifted at some point, and this is the end result of you see here. So when you have one side of the note that's dramatically off-center, that's what they call misalignment. You know, you don't have the correct registration of the print on both sides of the sheet. So this one right here ended up selling for $139.99. So a really nice amount of money for this one. And again, you could find these at coin shops and bargain bins and you know, online, or maybe you come across a local collection that might have one of these in there. Well, the Cuds keep on coming. Nickels especially very well represented here in the last like 2 weeks. All right, so nickels is definitely one of the denominations that you need to look out for. And that's counting both Philadelphia and Denver minted examples. Like this one is a 59D. I'll be lying to you if I said I've seen many of these. This is probably the second one of this type that I have ever laid eyes on. And it's a good one. So you can see the cut die break there at the base of Jefferson's bust. And the coin looks like it's circulated quite a bit. This one sold for $39.99. Again, cuds are kings, my friend. Look out for these and pay special close attention to your nickels. Well, 2023 Lincoln Shield Cent. That could only mean one thing. The Extra V variety making another appearance or two in this stream. And boy, the prices are shooting to the moon on these. So check that out. That's the condition of the coin that was sold here within the last like 12 hours. Very nice mint state red, problem free. You know, in spite of the fact that he is holding it in his hand. But, you know, I probably wouldn't do that because even a coin that is fresh off the presses deserves a little bit extra care. Hold that thing on its edge or use some cotton gloves or whatever your flavor is. Just make sure you don't get any fingerprints on these, especially when they sell for more than a few bucks. This one right here, you can see that Extra V anomaly. This coin has gained a lot of attention recently because Mike Diamond, one of the foreknown experts in errors, did a write-up on this very coin for Coin World magazine. And ever since then, it's blown up to just amazing proportional kind of fireballs out there. You know, another thing also to point out is that the major grading companies are recognizing this now. NGC is calling it an Extra V. You know, and there have been a number of examples that have already been graded by these third-party graders. And that's probably a big reason why that raw examples are up there. Like this particular one right here sold for $82.25 with 11 bids. Just keep in mind, folks, as recently as about 3 weeks ago, these things were selling for about $20 to $25. The prices were going down on them. Not a whole lot of attention was paid on them until, you know, some of these major error players came onto the scene and wanted to investigate the coin. So again, just letting you guys know, this is the hot thing right in circulation right now. If you can obtain them, grab some of these rolls from the bank and have fun with it. You could certainly make a grip of cash flipping these right now. We have a number of very nice broad strikes, all different dates and all quite tough dates, to be honest. How about this 1980D right here? Nice condition coin. This one sold for $22. And then from the same seller, they also had this 1972. This is an uncentered broad strike because it looks uncentered. This particular example right here sold for $20. And then finally, from the same seller, there was also this 1967 beautiful looking coin. This is a centered broad strike, and this one also sold for $20. Our next piece of currency, again, another good one on a little bit newer modern date too. 2006 series $1 bill. Again, just looking at the front, it doesn't look like anything extraordinary, but until you flip the note over, ooh, check that out. You have a really nice 100% front to back wet ink transfer. And it's legit. You know, all of the secondary transfer impression is mirrored. It's backwards. And that's the way it should be, because this is simply residual impression of ink from the plate to the impression cylinder. So when the next sheet comes in and it has that ink on the impression cylinder, it's going to leave this on the reverse. So you'll have this ghostly image of whatever side that print is. And again, these are quite nice and they're desirable. Like this one sold for $77.25 with 9 bids. So it's some pretty easy money there. Check all of your new paper currency. Okay, so someone got a screaming deal. I'm going to tell you this right out of the gate. This is like a 4 to 5x profit potential in this lot. Okay, so it's 15, count them 15, Lincoln Cent either broad strikes or off-center errors that eventually sold for $49.80. Are you kidding me? That's like $3.30 per coin. That is dirt cheap. Because me personally, a lot of these coins, I'm going to turn around and flip them for about $19.99 a piece online. And, again, do the math. That's $300, guys. So someone ripped this one, and it was actually a buy it now. A buy it now auction, or not even an auction, a buy it now listing. So someone scooped this one up pretty quickly. It didn't last no more than probably 15 minutes. I think they needed to be pinched because they thought they were dreaming. But there's a combination of copper-coated zincs and bronze Lincolns in this lot. So again, and there's a few with a couple readable dates on there as well, which is nice. Those are always going to sell for a little bit more premium. $49.80, which is the big hit of the day. Here's another cut die break, this time on a 1969D. Good looking coin here, even, well circulated. This is like an XF, problem free. But you can see the cut die break there at the base of Lincoln's bust. Always a hot point for these particular errors on any coin because that's the weakest part of the die. This particular one sold for $39. That's with 12 bids. And here's another one that has passed through many hands before it was finally discovered. But you notice something missing on this coin? Yeah, the last digit of the date is gone. And this is all attributed to Clogged Dice, which means that particular digit on the working die was filled and gunked up with grease. And it's going to strike coins that look like this, where it's completely missing something, right? It's either a letter or a digit of the date, but eventually it'll fall out. And usually those are going to be a precursor to a dropped filled letter on a coin. And those are spectacular in its own. But this coin right here, $18. I mean, that's pretty good, guys. And again, a lot of people are passing this thing around, just using it as 25 cents when in reality it's $18 that they were passing around. Pretty crazy to think about it that way. Now this one was a little bit of a shocker. This is, I think, another bargain one here, 1924D. So a very tough date of Buffalo Nickel. And not the worst condition coin either. It's like a low-end VF. You have a full horn on the Buffalo. But check that out. You have a counterclockwise rotated dies error. I would say probably about 20-25 degrees. While not wildly crazy, I mean, that is a pretty substantial rotation for the dies. So, and even the date on its own in this condition is about $30-40. However, this particular coin only managed to squeak out $13.50 with 11 bids. So, yeah, I mean, if I picked this one up for $13, I'd probably relist it on eBay for maybe $39.99 or $49.99. And I will most assuredly get the sale at some point in the future. So, look out for these. Again, another opportunity that was scooped up by some lucky buyer. All right, well, Coins and Cards has some pretty amazing bangers. And how about this one here? 1802 over 1 drape bust dollar. This is a dollar denomination. It's a big coin. I love these, by the way. I've owned one, and it was low enough condition that I didn't want to keep it anymore, so I'm holding out on an upgrade at some point in the future. This one, as you can see that that digit, the 1 under the 2 on there. I mean, you couldn't get any more, obvious with this over date. And this one right here sold for $1,426 with 35 bids. I think the coin on its own, even without the over date in that condition, is still a top seller, for this price. So there you go. A great coin again. I would say it's probably a VG8 in technical grade, maybe a fine 12 if you're lucky. So really, it's a brilliant example of a coin that exists back in the day. That isn't well, it's expensive. I mean, it's a drape bust dollar, but compared to some of the other dates of the series, this is probably more along the lines of a bargain. All right, another crazy one here. 1944 Lincoln Wheat Cent. Check out that flipped up thing there. This is actually a clamshell lamination. So I hope the seller didn't pry this thing up to give it this wild, crazy duckbill appearance to it. Usually you don't want to force it in that fashion to where it's this dramatic, because that's not how it was in the roll. But still, this one is still sold for $14.13. Not a huge ton of money, but it is way better than 1 cent. All right, our next dollar bill has a butterfly fold right there on the bottom left-hand corner. So there was a little fold on the sheet, and it was cut while the fold was still folded over. Yeah, I thought I made myself clear with that. But there you go. That's what your butterfly fold looks like on the back. Again, very nice, clean, high-end note. This one is sold for $78.50 with 9 bids. Nothing too crazy, but we have I guess you could say it's probably either slightly off-center or it's a misaligned die. Kind of hard to tell with the reverse because it does look like it's slightly off-center, but it's a 1967, and this one sold for $15.83 with 6 bids. Here's our next lot. We didn't have too many lots this week compared to the Saturday show, but we have a lot of 4 Washington quarters, all with singular clips. And guess what? I love those dates. Those are much tougher dates than anything else that we've seen in a much later date, like the 80s. 2 1966s and 2 70Ds. One of the 70Ds actually has a straight clip on it, which is cool. So yeah, again, you could obtain this to add to your collection, or you could flip these. And most of the coins have Blakesley effect on them, which is nice. And this 4-coin set sold for $25. So that's $6 a coin. I would say I'd probably be selling these for $14.99, maybe $19.99 a piece. You can make money with this lot. And a relatively common error, 1955, which looks to be either a strike-through or a detached lamination. It's either or. They're very close. Or it could be a struck-through lamination, detached lamination from another coin. So, I've seen quite a few of these. Had no idea that they had quite a bit of value. This one sold for $40.55. Admittedly, $12 of that is shipping, so that's a little bit excessive, but you can't ignore a sale of this caliber on one of the more lower end error types. This is not a low end error type. 1974 Lincoln Memorial Cent has an indent, which means another coin or blank planchet was overlapped on this one during the striking process. But you can see a little bit of a mirrored brockage on there on that indent. So it was probably another coin that was already struck that was overlapping this one by a little bit. But really cool to see. I mean, look how well circulated this coin is. I'm sure there were a number of people that saw it are like, man, this thing is damaged. And that's why it's been through so many hands and it's oxidized over the years. This one sold for $32.61 with 18 bids. And of course, our good old Tuskegee Airmen building birding strike through makes an appearance. And this coin is in beautiful shape, actually. So we've seen these things roller coaster in price in the last 3 months. There was a little mini buyout about a month and a half ago where someone was just constantly hitting the buy it now button on all these, and it didn't matter what the price is. And now that activity has stopped, and then now we have regular auctions coming back. So this one here is a nice BU example, which, this is the one that you would want to get if you were buying these. This one right here sold for $39.36 with 6 bids. So pretty phenomenal amount of money still, although not as high as it once was about 2 years ago. Well, here's our other Extra V 2023. This listing will blow your mind. So there was a seller that had a few of these that were asking $250 or best offer. Well, he had accepted a best offer on this coin in the amount of $200. And he also sold one other one for a full price of $250. So that's a pretty big departure from the last few examples, not from this seller, that sold for $82. There was another one that sold for a C note in there from Saturday. So the prices are still kind of volatile on this coin. We do know that the prices have been going up on these, but where that ceiling is anybody's guess. What's cool is, again, that third-party graders are attributing these particular coins. So keep that in mind. And not to be outdone, 2022 Lincoln Shield set with some pretty nice clash dies. Mostly on the obverse, and that's usually the strongest point to these. But there you go. There's that close-up of the clashing that you see of the shield on the obverse die. And you can also see Unum in there as well. This one right here sold for $38.99. And my friends, that is the normal going rate for this one. Pretty cool that this was cherry-picked. 1906 Indian had sent with a obverse cud right over the last couple letters and states. So again, this will trip up most people into thinking it's damage or something else that was applied to the coin. But no, this is a legitimate cud die break on here. Again, you can find these on the obverse and reverse of these Indian head cents. This one sold for $46.99 with 5 bids. If the person would have bought this for under $1, I mean, I'd say that was a home run, right? And a nice early off-center Lincoln Wheat Cent, 1951D. So, yeah, these are collected by date. When you get older into the more obsolete wheat-back design, prices become a little bit more stiff up there at the top. And this one is no exception. Like, this one sold for $98.90. And the coin is in phenomenal shape. It's got a really nice brown patina to it. I would say it's probably AU in condition. It could even be a low-end mid-state. But there you go. Nearly $100 for this thing. Here's a Pennsylvania state quarter. You count all the clips on there? That's right. There's 3 of them. That's pretty awesome. And we just don't see enough of these coins with 3 clips. We see plenty of 1 and 2 clips, but 3 clips is kind of a rare event. And as a result, these things are a lot more pricier. They go up exponentially beyond 2 clips. This one right here sold for $56. Holy smokes, with 9 bids. And bicentennials. Yeah, again, these things are always hot. Anytime they have a nice, pleasing, eye-appealing type of error like this. I mean, this one is simple. It just has a really massive curved clip on a drummer boy backed quarter. And again, these will always be popular till the end of time because, you know, it's like the most earliest modern commemorative coin that predates the statehood quarter series that was intended for circulation. So this one sold for $36.84 with 33 bids. And the final coin of the day is this remarkable looking thing. No, it doesn't have a readable date because this Lincoln cent was struck through, I would say, a mid-state die clash. And I say mid-state because, there's no date or any of the motto or liberty. You can barely see Lincoln's profile. Once you begin to see those, it becomes a much more later die state. This one is not that. Plus, the coin does have a few little rim dings on there. You can see that at the 3 o'clock position on both sides of the coin. So not too bad, but you know, these are always very popular as a major strike-through event. And this one sold for $39 with 16 bids. So very, very nice sale here. And again, these are still being found in circulation along with all the other coins that we talked about today. So there are riches to be found. If you want to make this into a secondary kind of like side hustle thing that a lot of other people do, trust me when I say this, there is plenty to go around. If you do a combination of coin roll hunting or searching through paper money, looking for fancy serial numbers and errors, That's like the best combination, folks, to really jumpstart what could be a very fun and very lucrative secondary business thing, all right, to go along with your regular job. And you never know. You might want to convert 100% to doing it full time, and that will bear a lot of fruit in itself because you're going to put 100% of your energy into that. So that's going to go ahead and do it. That was great, guys. Thank you guys again for tuning in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell for instant notifications. I'm your host, Sean, with Blue Ridge Silverhound. You guys have been fantastic. I hope to see you guys this Friday on Whatnot for my big 3-month gala, where we're going to give away a lot of good stuff. And we had some pretty big coins, really big coins, and my first gold I'm going to sell. So that's going to go ahead and do it. You guys take care. Keep on hunting, and I'll see you on the next coin video.